Hi guys, and welcome to Switzerland from above. This video will be different from my previous ones, as I would like to share one of my flying experiences I had just a week ago. As you may see, we are flying in a mountainous region with tight valleys, which is located in the Bernese Oberland in Switzerland. Our destination today is Zweisimmen, which you may see on the bottom left of the image, right here. Zweisimmen is set at around 6 nautical miles to the northeast of Gstaad, at an elevation of roughly 3,300 feet, and with a runway length of just below 560 meters, it is a challenging airfield to be flying to, especially during summertime when density altitude is becoming a very important factor in calculating the airplane's performance. So it is important to look at the atmospheric conditions we were encountering to better understand the video. We're currently flying on a Cessna 172 SP with a maximum takeoff weight of 1,157 kilograms. At the present moment we must be weighing around 1,100 kilograms, as we've been burning some fuel for the past 1.5 hours. The air temperature was around 25 degrees and the atmospheric pressure more or less 1017 hectopascal, and the wind was variable at around 3 to 5 knots. So we can see that the weather conditions were leading to limited performance due to the high density altitude experienced at Zweisimmen. Nevertheless, having done all the necessary calculations beforehand, we were confident and ready to take on a new challenge. We are currently heading towards a village called Sahnenmoser, which is basically just straight in front of us behind the hill. Before reaching this village, we will start our descent to 5,000 feet and make a left turn towards the arrival sector west of Zweisimmen. So let's see how it goes, and let's just enjoy the view for now. You may not be able to see, but we have configured the aircraft for the final approach already. The circuit being very short and having more than 2,000 feet to lose over just 1 nautical mile, it was logical to us to have the plane configured for landing before even starting our descent into the circuit to allow a smooth and stable final approach. The final turn is steep, and in order to keep a safe margin to our increased stalling speed, I added some thrust. We end up being slightly too fast, and the wind had suddenly turned into a light tailwind, which is not favorable for us, of course. I slipped the aircraft hoping to lose some altitude and speed, but as you see, it's not very effective. We keep on floating over the runway, and the runway itself being very short, we decided to go around and try the second time again. You'll observe that our climb rate is very shallow. This is due to the reduced performance caused by the high density altitude. That's why it is very important to ensure that your performance will allow you to climb out safely out of any airfield, considering the weather conditions and the surrounding terrain. And so we climb again down the valley. We had planned for that event beforehand and agreed to keep on climbing until 5,000 feet down the valley before turning back towards the arrival sector at 6,000 feet. So here we are again approaching overhead Zweisimmen. Observing the windsock and hearing from a colleague on ground, we decided to go for runway 17 instead of 35 as the wind had shifted to southerly wind. Reaching overhead, our plane was configured with flaps 30 and 65 knots already to ensure a stable approach. The circuit for runway 17 is slightly longer, which gives us more time to adjust our path. The circuit for runway 17 is definitely the easier one of both. This time during my final turn I tried to be more subtle with thrust input and aimed to remain at 65 knots and not exceed that speed. Our second approach is much better than the first one. More stable, we were able to keep our final speed of 65 knots and decided to continue. Not the smoothest landing, but finally we are here in Zweisimmen. Welcome! This has been a great experience for me as a pilot. Having prepared for that flight and done all necessary calculations beforehand, I still got surprised of how short the first circuit actually was. As a consequence, our final was unstable and we had to go around. Prior calculations had shown that for our weight and the experienced weather conditions, a climb out with safe margins was possible. Thanks to good flight preparation and considering all possible scenarios, including a go-round and a diversion to an alternate airport, we could give it a second try with confidence. We learned from our first approach and tried to be more subtle on the throttle whilst keeping a stable approach path. We successfully landed in Zweisimmen whilst being safe and conscious of what we were doing at all times. So you can see that even with good flight preparation, you're still not safe of some unexpected scenarios. In my case, even after having studied the charts, I was still surprised of how tight the circuit for runway 35 actually was. Prior preparation is tremendously important. Consider every possible scenario during your flight planning and use safe margins when doing your performance calculations. When dealing with high-density altitude and short runways in narrow valleys, it becomes even more important to have an acceptable safety margin to prevent unnecessary risks. It is important to review points such as your approach routing, the significant dangers that you might be expecting, the configuration of your plane, and your go-around scenario to avoid bad surprises. Reviewing all of these points during your approach briefing allows you to be fully focused onto your approach and to be conscious of what you would be doing in what scenario. Personally, I use a sheet of paper with all points I want to review during my approach briefing in order to be sure nothing gets missed. It doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you do. So that concludes this first video of a series I'll be releasing in the coming months, if time allows, of course. This series will be released as Experience and Approach 2, in our example, Zweisimmen. The reason why I would like to start with a new series is because I've realized that there are nearly no people sharing their experience when landing at specific challenging airfields. For that flight, I'd been looking for some videos to have a better understanding of how the terrain looked like and with what dangers I had to deal with. Unfortunately, I couldn't find anything, and that's when I got inspired in releasing that video. I believe that no flight preparation could ever be replaced by a simple video, of course, but it is a great tool to better visualize the entire approach and to share my experience with you guys to allow you to not repeat errors I might have done before. Any additional information you get will increase your safety margin. Please let me know down in the comment section whether you're willing to see more of these videos and how I could improve my content. Also, don't forget to drop a like and to subscribe if you would like to see more videos in the future. You may also visit my website, www.swissflying.com, and follow me on Instagram and Facebook, link in the description. Until next time, captains, always happy landings. Bye-bye.